I have a play on PrizePicks. I have 3 picks on Underdog Fantasy, and I have some other player props, some other bets for you guys. So let's go ahead. Let's get into it. And we already have this bad boy. Kawhi over 2.5 assists from yesterday. It was an incredible play. If you watch the video, it cashed. And as I always say, I put my money where my mouth is. Unlike 100%, basically, not actually 100%, but 90%, 95% of people in this industry, I bet my own money starting out at $5 a bet when I started out sports betting. And I'm showing you all my plays. And the only reason I'm betting them is because I think they're good. If I have a play on Underdog Fantasy, I'm not sharing it because I want a video on Underdog Fantasy today. I'm sharing it because it's profitable. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. And again, that goes for anything, right? Like I've shown you guys in all these YouTube videos, we've been tracking profit and loss since the start of football season. It says no promos, no fantasy. I wanted to keep it just to sports betting, so no Underdog Fantasy plays. But we're up 47K. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit some plays on PrizePicks, on Underdog Fantasy. And then I also just hit out this college basketball bet. So I ended up actually taking Santa Clara +4. You can see there's a 1.55% profit margin, bet in bold with a circle around it. And the reason I like it is if you go ahead and you click into the odds, you'll notice we're getting a full point of value to the market, right? Every other bookie, we have 1, 2, all these sports books are data points telling you where the line should be set. That's how you should think about sports betting. That's how sharps think about sports betting. That's how traders, day traders think about sports betting. That's how you make money sports betting. Take the sports out of it. No one cares about the sports. The hedge funds that make money are the quantitative hedge funds that have a leg up on data, right? They're not people who think they can bet on sports because they know sports. I mean, it's embarrassing at this point. But anyways, Santa Clara +4, first play I went with, plus EV, 2.2K is what I put on it. And what we're going to be going through now is my play on, let's start out with, what do we want to start out with? Let's start out with PrizePicks. So again, on PrizePicks, the way these platforms work is any 2 picks you select, you're going to get the same price. If you take overs, unders, 20 to win 60. If we switch this to a different play, 20 to win 60. PrizePicks is a fixed parlay platform, right? Any 2-leg parlay, you're getting +200 odds. You're betting 20 to win 40 in profit, not 60. 40 in profit. Plus your $20 stake back. 20 to win 60. 20 of it is your stake, so it's +200 odds. So essentially, we've gone through the math kind of a ton of times before, reverse engineering, breaking down how to back out. And it's not that complicated. We have tons of strategy videos on this. Type in OddsJam PrizePicks. I also, you can check, I'm starting to write strategy articles on the OddsJam blog, so you can read that too. I know not everyone has time to watch YouTube videos all day long. But anyways, for a 5-pick flex, you're actually getting very advantageous odds at PrizePicks. That's kind of the best price, right? So for a 2-pick entry, you're getting -137 implied juice, which is a lot if you think about it. Basically, again, they're not varying your payout depending on if you pick the over or the under. So the odds don't change for the over or the under, right? So all we want to do is if we're playing a 2-pick flex, we want to find plays that look good at -137. But if we're playing a 5-pick flex, which you can see I'm filtering OddsJam for on the positive EV tool, all I need to do is find 5 picks that look great at -119. So the first play I went with is Dalvin Cook over 2.5 receptions. Why do we like it? Look at the sports books. I mean, DraftKings has this as a 2-to-1 favorite. And we're getting this in our PrizePicks entry. You obviously don't want to take the under. Taking the under would be horrible, right? Like on PrizePicks, you have to have 2 picks win, right? If you took a 2-pick power play, you have to have 2 picks win to win $200 if you bet 100. On DraftKings, you can bet 100 to win 150 in profit on the under, just on 1 pick. So this is a ridiculous play. And again, we're just using real-time market data. These sports books are betting markets. They're sharp betting markets. And by that, I mean these sports books have invested hundreds of millions of dollars into their trading technology. They're taking millions of dollars of bets, moving around, lines due to supply and demand. Like, you're not beating the sports books by watching highlights of Dalvin Cook. You're not outsmarting the market. Why are you smarter than the 50 other million people who are betting on the NFL this weekend, right? Sportsbooks are a market. Supply and demand, just like the stock market. Lines are set the way they are because of win probabilities, right? Dalvin Cook over 2.5 receptions is heavily juiced. It's a 2-1 favorite because the over is a lot more likely to occur than the under. If someone's -3, if a team is -300, they're 3-1 to win. So 3-1 to win, they're 75% to win. So we're using all this real-time market data to be like, yeah, clearly some value on PrizePicks at -119. So that's pick number one. Then we have another over, Terrence Marshall, over 2.5 receptions on PrizePicks. Again, just looking for value. You can also play it on Thrive Fantasy. Cole Kmet, over 2.5 receptions. I don't know any of these players, but what I do know is it doesn't matter, right? You follow the market data. You have a market-driven sports betting strategy, and you're guaranteed to win in the long run, right? You're finding bets with an edge, and you're just following the data. You're following the math, and you take yourself out of it, right? It's very freeing, actually. Then we have Sidney Crosby, over 2.5 shots on goal, right here. Same strategy. It doesn't matter if you're betting on the NFL. All the sports books have this, you have high confidence that Crosby, we're getting great value at -119, which is the implied price for a 5-pick flex. And you have really high confidence this is a play you want to be on, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 data points all telling you this should be priced -145 to -150. So let's say, -148 is what it should be priced at. We're getting -119. So clearly, that's an interesting play, right? And this is a play we want to be on. 2.37% profit margin. And then finally, we have an under, which is Braden Cook's under 4.5 receptions. And again, a lot of people are like, couldn't I have found these plays manually? And here you can see it. I locked it in. A lot of people have questions. Why did you bet 100? PrizePicks gives me a max bet of 100, just based on limits. I can't bet unlimited amounts of money. Like if I go back here, if we go to Crosby again, I don't think they're going to let me bet more if I just try a little test. So you'll see right here, they're going to say, entries, well, that says players from different teams. So it's like, okay, you'll see right here, they say max winnings on a single pick athlete is $1,000. So they're not letting me take it again, right? So that's the reason for a lot of these, because a lot of people will be like, why this 100? Why that 200? Is sometimes, this is why sports betting isn't scalable. This play is incredibly profitable. It has a mathematical edge. But you're not going to be able to bet, $1 million on these. It's not scalable. That's why nobody wants to bet on sports full time if they have a brain, right? They'd rather, get a job and do this on the side because it can be a lucrative side hustle. But these sports books, they can give you whatever limits they want. It's not up to you. So that's the first play I went with. Really good play. Then it's the same strategy for Underdog Fantasy. So it's the same strategy for Underdog Fantasy. So we can go ahead and we can go through that. And again, another thing I recommend you do is you can now sync your sports books with OddsJam. It doesn't work for every sports book, but it does for PrizePicks. And it does for, so if I go here, but you have to do it on a state-by-state basis, which doesn't matter for some people if you don't travel. But what you'll notice is you can sync these sports books, right? So here we have WinBet. Because of the regulations, WinBet New York is a different app than, WinBet Arizona. You have to download a different app. If you type in WinBet in the App Store, you'll see there's 10 different apps for every state they're legal in. So you have to sync all of them. But what it will do is it will show you your profit and loss. So all I'm saying is if you're not, you should sync all of your sports books and just see if you have an edge, right? And it requires a lot of bets. It requires a lot of bets. And it requires time to, sync sports books for every state you're in, but it's still a worthwhile exercise. And then all it's going to do is it will pull in all of your plays from, PrizePicks and stuff like that. Maybe a little, it's a little time intensive, but it's absolutely worth doing, and you can see it'll automatically sync all of your plays, regardless of where you're playing them. So here you can see PrizePicks, whatever. So let's move on to the next play we have, which is going to be right here. So next I went to Underdog Fantasy. Same strategy, right? Here we're taking Jamal Williams under 1.5 receptions. You'll notice on Underdog, we're always playing 3-pick or 5-pick entries, right? And the reason is because that's when the odds are advantageous. It never makes sense to play a 4-pick entry, and the 3-pick entry is so much better. You know, you're getting such better implied odds at -122 than a 2-pick that I almost never play 2-picks. I'm basically only playing 3-picks. It just makes the most sense. So again, you know, the reason OddsJam's valuable is it really just like takes the millions of odds across these sports books. So you can see Underdog Fantasy, there's like limitless crap you can bet on. This is a market. Lines are moving around. Players are getting injured. Weather is changing in the NFL. It's a market. It's like the stock market, but it's open 24/7. Lines are always moving. Bookmakers are always changing odds. Players are coming in, coming out. So it's a market. So long story short, OddsJam just tries to, give you a bunch of tools, arbitrage, middle, positive EV, that ideally makes, the data actionable. So all this is pointing out to me is, hey, there's ridiculous value on Williams under 1.5 receptions. There's no BS. There's nothing about Jamal Williams' girlfriend. There's nothing about it. No one cares, right? I care about the numbers, the data, because the math just works. When, Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker in the world, they have this as a 2-to-1 favorite. We're getting it at -122. Because all these sports books have different odds, you can ruthlessly compare lines between the bookies and find these rare few betting opportunities that actually have an edge, like Jamal Williams under 1.5 receptions. Out of all the plays on Underdog, there's only a few that are profitable. That's why sportsbooks typically make money, right? Underdog has the advantage that they're juicing their 3-leg parlays where each pick is -122 juice. So, that's like what, 10% vig, not small. So then for a 3-leg parlay, their average juice is probably like, 30% or something. But as a sharp, sophisticated bettor, you can read through the lines and find these plays where the under should be heavily juiced. And we have really high confidence the under's a lot more likely to hit because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the same, right? These two columns are the same. We just copy the Pinnacle column. So you have 6 bookies all telling you this should be like a 2-to-1 favorite, and we're getting it in our Underdog entry. So I took that. I also took Terrence Marshall. Again, PrizePicks, they give me a max bet of $100 on Marshall. So I also took it on Underdog. I took this play, which is also incredible, right here, CJ Azuma, under 1.5 receptions. And then I took Julius Randle, under 3.5 assists. And what else did I have? Jamal Williams, Julius Randle, Donovan Mitchell. I'm not sure. We'll have to take a look. Let's take a peek at what I actually ended up betting. So, this one is previously we gave out. This one I previously gave out. And this one is new. So here we have it. Julius Randle, Jamal Williams, CJ Azuma. So you can see here, Randle, Azuma, Williams. Just taking the top 3 profit margin plays. Really simple. And then we can go here. Randle, Marshall, Mitchell, right? So then I took, this Marshall play after, so the max I could get on these two was 1,000. So then I took this play, and then finally I took this play. All plays EV, right? Actually, where are those bad boys? So if we take a look here you can see the Dorian Finney-Smith. Again, it's a market. So at different times, different plays come up. So lines started, ripping lower on Dorian Finney-Smith's rebounds line. So then we were able to lock it in. So a bunch of plays. Let's make money.